Hi everyone, I'm Jaisurya. I'm a study abroad advisor and a career counselor. Over the past years, having guided hundreds of students in the entire study abroad application process, what I've noticed is one of the most crucial parts of application process is not just about applying to the universities, it's also about what you do after getting admits from the universities. Students often have questions such as which universities do I choose, should I accept my offer or not, when do I start my I-20 application process, etc. etc. In this video, I have answered all such questions related to what you do post-admit. Feel free to skip to the segments which are related to you. Don't forget to hit the follow button. Let's get started. The first segment is what to do after getting an acceptance offer and how do you go about the security deposit process. Now, when you get a decision, it'll either be an acceptance or a rejection. When you get a rejection, there's really not much you can do but wait for your other decisions. Now, some students ask me questions such as, should I mail to the admission committee to either reconsider my application or find out the reasons for why I have been rejected, etc. Now, if you write that email, there are very high chances that you will not get a positive response from either of the cases, because this is completely through personal experience. I have seen many students do this. Instead, if you're really passionate about that particular university and about that particular program, you can reapply to their next intake, but by improving your overall profile. You cannot apply with your current profile. You should make changes, improvements, and then apply. Now, if you're not willing to wait till the next intake, which majority of people don't, then don't get disappointed with a rejection. Just sit down, hold tight, wait for your other decisions. A rejection is not the end of the world. Now, if you get an admit, congratulations, that's great. You have to proceed on to the next steps. Usually in your acceptance email, the next steps are mentioned by the university itself. And one of the first steps is to accept your offer. This you can do via their website portal that will be mentioned in your admission letter itself. Now, if you accept your admission offer, it does not mean that you have to attend the university. You can always change your mind. You can choose to attend a different university as well. Most of the universities will give you a deadline before which you need to accept the offer. I would say accept it immediately, because it does not mean that you have to attend the university. You're just confirming and booking your seat there. You always have the flexibility to change your mind if you get a better admit. Some universities ask you to do a security deposit. What does this mean? It means that you have to pay a certain dollar amount in order to confirm your seat. Now, each of these universities have certain security deposit deadline before which you have to pay this amount. I would say you don't have to pay this one immediately. If this deadline is say a month or two away, you can wait until the last day of the deadline, wait for other decisions to come in, and then decide whether you want to go ahead with the university or not. Now, if you do not get any better admits or any other decisions before your security deposit deadline, I would say go ahead and pay the deposit, because one in hand is always better than two in bush. Keep in mind that not all universities ask you for a security deposit. If this is not mentioned in your acceptance letter or the emails that come later, then let it be. You don't have to worry about it. Now, the big touch point is if you have multiple admits, how do you choose between universities? I suggest my clients to do what's called the quality and cost analysis. In order to determine the quality of a certain program, you should evaluate metrics like, first, the curriculum. You should be looking at what are the kind of courses they are offering. Are they offering any specialization or tracks in a field you are interested in? You have to be looking at university's reputation, must be looking at faculty members, how are they teaching the classes, etc., etc. The second most important metric is job outcomes. You should be looking at what are students doing post-graduation, what are the kind of jobs they're pursuing, what are those roles, how is the average pay, how are the career services on campus, how is the alumni network and how they help you in finding a job, etc. Next, you have to also be looking at the location of the university. You should see if there are any metropolitan cities around, if there are any good industries of your field around your university or within the state you are studying in, etc. You might be wondering, how would you find all this information? According to me, the best source is the current and graduated students of your master's program from that particular university. One way to reach out to them is via LinkedIn. Here, a lot of students answer all such questions, or you can contact the university admission office and you can ask them to connect you to students ambassadors of your particular program. This is a pretty common way. Talking to current and former students will give you much more clarity on how to make your decision. Once you have understood the quality of universities, the next important metric is cost of education. Now, the common advice would be the cheaper the university, the better. However, you have to understand the concept of the return on investment. Now, let me explain this with two scenarios. In scenario number one, we have University A, which has very good reputation, a well-branded university. It is located at a great place. It has good job outcomes, pretty high average pay, and has a great peer group. The cost of education here is $50,000. On the other hand, we have University B, which has average reputation, which is, which does not have a great peer group. It's not located at a great location, and the cost of education here is just $25,000. Now, between these two universities, I would definitely choose University A, even though it costs me high, because I know that once I graduate from this university, the jobs that I'll be getting is much more high paying, and I can recover my investment within 2 to 3 years of graduation and enjoy the jumpstart I get in my career for the rest of my life. Please remember that branded universities do not guarantee well-paying jobs. It is you who is responsible to skill up and perform well in your interviews. However, branded universities will get you noticed among employers. Now, scenario 2. On one hand, we again have University A, which is well branded, has great job outcomes, and it costs you $50,000. And we have University C, which has decent reputation, pretty decent job outcomes, average pay is also pretty nice, maybe not as high as University A, but still almost there, and it costs you $35,000. Now, in this scenario, between University A and C, I would definitely choose University C if I'm not obsessed with branded names. Now, why is this? Because University C is giving me a good quality education, maybe just a few ranks below University A, but is giving me great quality education at a much lower price, which means my return on investment on C will be much better. I can recover my money within no time post graduation after I get a high paying job. USA has many universities like University C, which might not be branded names like the Ivy Leagues or MITs or Stanfords or UMich Ann Arbors, etc. But they offer great quality education at a much lower price. I have personally seen many students forego branded university admits to universities such as University C here. There are also other metrics that you can consider for personal reasons, such as weather, staying close to friends or family and relatives, etc. However, these metrics I think are not super important because your master's education is just going to be 1.5 to 2 years long. So you can always locate to a place that is much suitable for you post-graduation. However, if you think in your personal scenario they factor in, then you can consider them through your decision-making process. If you need any help with choosing the universities, do comment below. You can mention the universities you're comparing and the master's program or UG program that you're going to attend. I will comment at the earliest, as always. The next step of the process is education loan. Some students wait until they get admit. Some students start their education loan process early, and most of the students apply for education loan even though they have good family or personal funds. Now, this is because education loans offer something called the moratorium period, which means that throughout your master's education, you don't have to pay interest, and you have 3 to 6 months after your master's education as well to start paying your interest rates, which means that you do not have to take any money out of your pocket for your master's education or sell your properties to fund your master's education. Your education loan will take care of all that, and you can start paying your interest once you find a high-paying job. Many banks give education loans for study abroad. Some banks give collateral-based loans, that is loans against a property, and some banks give a collateral-free loans, obviously at a higher interest rate. Some lenders require an admit in order to give an education loan, while some lenders don't require any admit. They just give education loans based on your or your family's financial background. So in order to kickstart this process, reach out to banks as early as possible so that you understand the kind of documentation documentation is required, etc. If at all you have any trouble in connecting to the banks or finding the right bank, do reach out to us. We will connect you to our partner banks, which give all kinds of loans. The next major step is applying to your visa. In order to apply to the visa, universities give you a document called the I-20 document. Now, how do you go about applying for I-20 document? How do you use that in order to book your visa slots, etc., etc., have all been covered in my previous video. The link will be available in the description below. Go check it out. If you have any questions regarding the post-admit process, do comment them below and I will answer them without fail. If you need any help with post-admit process after you get admit, applying for I-20, applying for visas, booking a visa slot, preparing to visa interviews through mock interviews, then do reach out to us. You can find our contact details below. On behalf of my team, I wish you a smooth post-application process. Do like and share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for listening.